All right. Let's make sure that we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. And we will get straight into things right here, right now. All right, we are good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another spicy episode of the Sanity stream with Lucius Coal. If you like this type of content, go down below, like, subscribe, share, and of course, leave a comment if you think I deserve it. The Coal Factory and the Coal Train on our way to 1,000 Patriots strong. Thanks to people like you watching content like this. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into today's show. For those of you who haven't seen, we are on the wee hours of the Donald Trump presidency. I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, but the truth is the truth, and I will always give you the truth every single time. And we really should be looking at some pardoning gifts, if you will, to the deep state about what exactly we can kind of put a couple thorns into their side, if you will. Let's take a look. Trump reportedly set to issue 100 pardons and communications on final full day in office, including Lil Wayne. Trump is expected to issue around 100 pardons and commutations on the final day, full day of his office in his single-term presidency, according to a new report. Early Monday, the first day of the week, will feature Joe Biden's inauguration. CNN reported the failed steak salesman, at least according to three sources close to such talks, is prepping to issue this swath of pardons and communications after finalizing the list of recipients during a White House meeting over the weekend. Oh my God. Some of these articles are just unreal. But either way, like, okay, I get it. Like, of course, we should be pardoning people, but I want to see Donald Trump go absolutely unbridled and just allow himself to basically pardon everyone. Pardon anyone that had a problem when they went into the Capitol, especially if they were nonviolent and they are being aggressively attacked by the FBI and the CIA and the NSA. It's amazing how much easier the job of an FBI agent suddenly became the moment it involved Trump supporters. After an entire year of Antifa and Black Lives Matter, of course, nothing happens whatsoever, and those nice little progressive justices that are on the bench that are allowing these criminals to basically burn, loot, and murder entire cities, arsons, and burning basically just everything to the ground. Over $2 billion of damage, and nothing happens whatsoever. But the moment Trump supporters, that's right, the moment Trump supporters are the ones who are in trouble, all of a sudden the FBI becomes the super secret elite Federal Bureau of Investigation, hunting down Trump supporters left and right in order to make sure that they are held accountable, ladies and gentlemen, in a court of law. It really is a tragedy what we're dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, these are the types of people that need to be getting pardoned right now. I'm all for Lil Wayne getting pardoned. I'm all for everyone getting pardoned. But why is Donald Trump holding back at this point? Why? What does he have to lose? Honestly, the entire deep state hates him. The Republican establishment hates him. The Democrats hate him. The FBI, the NSA, the CIA, the Pentagon, everyone has been undermining Donald Trump this entire presidency. And yet he still, for some reason, is not going absolutely scorched earth. It makes no sense. What do they have on him? Honestly. And for me, it's hard to feel bad for the guy at this point. Like, go scorched earth. It's clear these people hate you. They despise you. They want you dead. They want Trump supporters dead. They won't outwardly say it, but they want us dead. And if they can't kill us, they want us behind bars. What is he holding on to? Margaret Polak, yet he won't pardon Snowden, Ulbricht, Assange, and Manning. I believe Manning was actually already pardoned. Perhaps you can look into that. I believe that is already the case. As to Snowden, Ulbricht, and Assange, yes. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? These men, especially Assange, what exactly did he do wrong? You saw the recording when he called Hillary Clinton and called up her State Department and told her that the information that was about to be released, he had no control over it at that point. He had none. He did everything in his power to mitigate the loss of life in terms of people that were field agents out in the field, in terms of this information going out there and hurting American citizens or agents. Didn't matter. This man has been behind bars for nearly 10 freaking years. It is an absolute disgrace. The media covers it up. This is a true journalist. This is a man who sacrificed everything. Donald Trump actually going out there saying, "Thank you, WikiLeaks! Thank you, WikiLeaks!" And then the moment he becomes president, he says, what's WikiLeaks? There's been a lot of things, and in terms of this presidency, that Donald Trump could have done better on. And this is one of them. What is he waiting for? It's very clear. Even Jack Posobiec the other day went out on Twitter, said that the president would actually look at these poll results. And obviously Jack Posobiec is followed mostly by Republicans, mostly by conservatives, mostly by libertarians. He was actually out there speaking on the day of January 6th and fighting in the Stop the Steal rallies and stuff like that. Over 92% of the people that voted said you should pardon Ulbricht, you should pardon Snowden, you should pardon Assange. All three of them. And yet here we are. Nothing. No change in the wind. No pardons that seem to be coming down the line in terms of these high-class journalists, these people that were showcasing crimes of the American government. And nothing ever happens. And it really does make you wonder, ladies and gentlemen, is it all worth it? Have you ever wondered what it would have been like if you never supported Donald Trump? If you never put your livelihood on the line, if you never put your job on the line? We are patriots. And patriots need a leader that is willing to give up everything. Just like Snowden did, just like Assange did, just like Ulbricht did. Donald Trump, this is my plea to you to pardon these men. Because it's the right thing to do. Either way, for those of you who haven't seen, absolute insanity right now in terms of the political space. Project Veritas doing the heavy legwork that the mainstream media should be doing, but of course they're not, because they are basically the fourth arm of the government at this point. And the big tech media censorship is on absolute overdrive right now. Of course, you're probably familiar with this face. This is Vijaya Gadde. I believe this is the same woman that was on the Joe Rogan Experience with Tim Pool, who absolutely smashed her along with Jack Dorsey in terms of how Twitter actually enforces their own policies. For those of you who haven't seen The View, take a look.
Yeah, actually, one of the interesting things is a lot of the work that we've been doing over the last week is work that we've built on in other places around the world where we've seen violence unfold as a result of either misleading information or coded rhetoric.
So she actually goes out here and states in real time that they already censor across the world. And this is very, very dangerous, guys. If you think about the military apparatus in terms of the United States and how easily the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, and the Pentagon are able to go inside countries, particularly in the Middle East, and basically uproot entire nations. Think about what that would look like if that entire military apparatus was turned inward onto the American people. It would be an absolute catastrophe. What we are dealing with right now is one of the largest attacks against civil liberties in the United States of America. And we really have to be asking ourselves, are we going to be the generation that did nothing while tyranny took over? Are we going to be the generation that allowed liberty and free speech and free expression to die? To me, I just don't see the fight. I definitely don't see the fight on the left, that's for sure. But I barely see any fight on the right. I see everyday average Americans, fat, obese, lazy. We have the highest obesity rates in the world. We have the highest amount of heart attacks in the world. We have people that are stupid, dumb, ignorant, more interested in the next TV show than what's actually going on inside of our country. Our entire nation is being fleeced of its wealth. We are living in the richest country in the world. And yet some of us are still out of jobs. Some of us are still out of just basic essentials that it would take in order to create a family. The average wealth for a 30-year-old in today's world is $1,000. By age 30, the average wealth is $1,000. The average wealth for a 20-year-old is minus $10,000. This is a debt crisis that is spinning out of control. And I don't see any fight from anyone. Anyone. Speaking of the apparatus, it's only going to get a lot worse, guys. For those of you who haven't seen this post on Twitter, Mo Davis. I was the chief prosecutor at Guantanamo for over 2 years, and there's far more evidence of Congressman Madison Cawthorn's guilt than there was of guilt for 95+% of the detainees. It's time we start a domestic war on sedition by American terrorists. These people are fucking insane. These people are fucking insane. Standing up for your country, defending the Constitution, wanting free speech, wanting to have our privacy protected by the Fourth Amendment, wanting to be able to protect ourselves with the Second Amendment and firearms. And this is the type of rhetoric coming from the chief prosecutor of Guantanamo Bay, stating outwardly that Congressman Madison Cawthorn's guilt, there was more guilt on him than 95% of the detainees in fucking Gitmo. It's time we start a domestic war on sedition by American terrorists. This is what healing looks like, guys. This is what a Joe Biden presidency is going to look like. And for all of those moms, all those soccer moms that said, I'm just so sick of the politics. I'm so sick of the rhetoric. Donald Trump is so divisive. He's tearing our country apart. Do you see the rhetoric that's coming from the left right now? Most people were just sick of it. They wanted to be lulled back to sleep. They wanted to go back to the Obama era of more foreign wars, more drone strikes on American citizens, more crisis, the rise of ISIS, and basically Europe dealing with the largest immigration problem in the last 100 years since the 1940s. And yet they think things are going to get better. Every single day that Joe Biden is president of the United States is going to be a worse day than the day before. They're already talking about 100 days of mask mandates. They're talking about more lockdowns. They're talking about a new vaccine and how they are going to disperse that vaccine, not by actually allowing the people to get whoever got the first dose to then have a guaranteed second dose, but rather just willy-nilly just start pushing all of the vaccines out there, not knowing if the person who got the first vaccine is going to be able to get the second one. It is just idiocy, guys. I don't even know how else to put it. It's just pure stupidity what we're dealing with here. These are the best people that are supposed to be in there running this country. Our forefathers were farmers. Our forefathers were merchants. Why exactly do we have a bunch of milquetoast hacks that all happen to be lawyers running the United States of America? Whether it be Republican or Democrat. It doesn't matter. Either way, we all get fleeced of our wealth, and the money goes to the big banks, the military-industrial complex, the Federal Reserve, the multimedia corporations, and big media. And nothing ever happens. Hate to be black-pilled, but it's the truth. Out of all that Q stuff, though, I find it kind of ironic. All of the QAnon stuff coming out there on January 6th, everyone's saying it's misinformation and stuff like that, and I will agree with that. What I find funny, though, is that all of a sudden the left is creating their own conspiracies. Take a look. This is from the Associated Press. FBI vetting guard troops in D.C. amid fears of insider attack. They're worried about a John Wilkes Booth. I kid you not. So they call in 25,000 National Guard troops, only to be afraid that those troops are going to turn on them and go John Wilkes Booth on Joe Biden. If you were so worried about the National Guard, why did you bring in 25,000 of them? U.S. defense officials say they are worried about an insider attack or other threat from service members involved in securing President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration, prompting the FBI to vet all 25,000 National Guard troops coming into Washington for the event. The massive undertaking reflects the extraordinary security concerns that have gripped Washington following the deadly January 6th insurrection. Yeah, deadly for Trump supporters. At the U.S. Capitol by pro-Trump rioters, and it underscores fears that some of the very people assigned to protect the city over the next several days could represent a threat to the incoming president and other VIPs in attendance. So you got Q-tards on the right and you got D-tards on the left. I don't even know. What would you call this conspiracy? They're afraid the FBI... Or rather, they're afraid that the military is going to turn on them. Wait, Joe Biden, I thought you got the most military votes. What are you worried about? What are you worried about? Huh? I thought Joe Biden was really, really big with the military. No? I thought he got a ton of military votes. No, he didn't. Oh. Huh. Afraid that some random Trump supporter might go in there? And YouTube, just for the record, I'm not advocating that, because apparently I promote violent criminal terrorists, according to YouTube's own words. Unbelievable. This is hilarious. Take a look, guys. Chief Lamont Ruffin from the D.C. District Court swears in 2,000 National Guard troops as Special Deputy U.S. Marshals prior to the upcoming presidential inauguration, meaning that these people are going to be able to arrest people. Now, for those of you who are heading to DC, I know a couple people that actually are. This doesn't look good. I'm not saying don't go out there and protest. I would never say that. It's a First Amendment right. We shouldn't just bow down and take this up the ass like the Dems and the rhinos want us to. But if there was ever a time for a false flag, it would be right now. If I was in Joe Biden's shoes, wouldn't I want to have a false flag? Wouldn't I want something bad to happen? Because they already have a new Patriot Act, the most unpatriotic act in the tubes. So if they could accelerate that in order to start targeting conservatives on a much broader scale, it would be used through a false flag on January 6th. So for those of you who think about going over there, just be very, very careful. Don't get shot. Don't get killed. It's not worth it. We will rise back up. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, worst case scenario, guys. Absolute worst case scenario. Given all of the hijinks during the election, we simply secede. We all join states that want free and fair elections. We all join states that love the Constitution. We all join states that want to have free open speech platforms on the internet. We all join states that love this country. Doesn't have to be some violent, crazy thing. Brighter days are ahead, ladies and gentlemen. But for the foreseeable future, we are looking at some dark times. But don't get down. We will move forward. And it really makes you wonder, like, why exactly are we supporting this government in the first place? You know, we're always looking outward. And it's really nice if you are in government to be able to look to the outside forces, the barbarians at the gate, if you will. You know how they always make China the evil enemy? They always make Russia the evil enemy. Why don't we look within, right? Instead of looking on the outside, why don't we look within? Let's look at our own government. What I mean by that is the CCP. This is from Darren Beatty over on Twitter. The CCP did not declare white people evil. They did not force mass replacement level immigration. They did not start, fund, and promote BLM. They did not push drag queen weirdness onto your children. They did not destroy the U.S. economy with unnecessary lockdowns. They did not drag U.S. into wasteful trillion-dollar forever wars. And they did not deplatform Americans from FANG. Our government is corrupt. Our government is inept. Our government is not ruled by the will of the people. And Republicans and Democrats alike do not represent their constituents. To me, it just seems like one big game. It's all theater. They don't actually give a fuck about us. They don't. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. Because if they did, Julian Assange would have been pardoned on day one. If they did, you know, I'm not for stimulus per se, but there are tons of other countries that during this entire lockdown are actually receiving funds from their government. Now, Allah, that is socialism, and I do actually believe the right move is to actually open things up while mitigating, you know, older people and allowing them to, you know, stay away from this this virus that is essentially a 99 percentile plus survivability rate. But be that as it may, guys, I mean, brighter days are ahead, but we really do need to start looking inward and stop blaming everything that's going on in the United States on China or Russia or Mexico or insert your country here. We need to actually look at ourselves, because the government is only ruled by the consent of the governed. Meaning, if we don't actually agree with what they're doing, then they have no power over us. It's all a game, guys. That's all I'm saying. Let's finish it up, guys. Bitcoin looking to stabilize. I am not a financial advisor. I am not giving financial advice. Lulu Maori. Trumpers will hang in 24 hours. Oh, that's nice, man. That's really nice. All right. Either way. Oh, snap. We are looking at... Oh, snap, guys. Sorry, I messed this up. There we go. Okay. So, for the future, guys, I highly recommend checking out Bitcoin. Things are looking to stabilize at this point, about 36,000. And to be honest, after the Fed and Joe Biden actually going out there and saying that he's going to do an additional $1,400 to every single American, at some point inflation's going to kick in. And I would recommend getting into something like Bitcoin. And if you're not really that comfortable with that type of stuff, you can always look to stuff like gold, which happens to hold its value for a decent amount of time. Either way, we are looking at an inflation at some point, and we really need to make sure that we are protecting ourselves and our family for the foreseeable future. If you want to donate to the channel, I have a Bitcoin link down below. Also, if you use the Coinbase link in the description below, it'll help the channel out quite a bit. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, it's a bit of a calmer one, and I will definitely be bringing the rage tomorrow if that pardon doesn't involve Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, and of course Lance Ulbricht. So let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Love ya. Peace. Coltrane. Choo choo. Yeah. Go lift some weights, boys.